there is a theory that talks about 1,000 years ended. It's a biblical prophecy. Supposedly, the second coming of Jesus Christ happened already.
Oh.
And that 1,000 years of the kingdom of God on planet Earth happened already. Because we have a very big gap in our historical records that we call it Dark Ages.
Yes.
It's almost 1,000 years. And like almost nothing happened in those Dark Ages.
True.
So there is this theory that Jesus Christ came back after the kingdom of God on planet for 1,000 years and then set the Lucifer or Satan free.
Oh.
So we are experiencing the age of Lucifer running the show, Lucifer running the planet. Like everything we see is orchestrated and controlled by Satan on the planet. We are in the afterwards of 1,000 years of the goodness on this planet, and then now we are in the the period that is like chaos, and it's gonna end with the Armageddon. And they try to fucking make that Armageddon happen.
You never know these days. We might have transcended and didn't realize it. Have you thought of that? We might have moved on and it just looks the same as the last place.
1,000 years ended.
Yeah.
Where that comes from.
No, but it sounds good. Where does it come from?
Bible.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I believe you.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Back again.
Yeah.
Here we are again.
Back at it again.
Yeah. I think we've got some interesting stuff to explore today.
Yeah.
From what I saw you flashing on the screen before, and when I'll put on the screen that we haven't looked at yet, maybe.
No, we're gonna get to it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Definitely.
Well, if it works, doesn't matter. Yeah.
Well, the first thing first is that 3i Atlas is getting closer, and Avi Loop has some interesting take on it.
Wait. How was that again?
3i Atlas, the comet.
Oh, yes. Now I'm with you.
Yeah.
This thing that's pooing out carbon dioxide or something.
Yeah, and it has a strange lighting in front of it.
Light source. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's as estimated by Avi Loop, there's a 40% chance that is a spaceship.
Oh, cool. Well, it's about time, isn't it?
Yeah, in the cosmos.
Where the hell have they been?
Cycle of 25,600 years.
Yeah.
Is it 25,600 years?
Yes.
Give and take.
Well, that's the astrological cycles. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
As I understand it, I'm way off being an expert on that. But
by the way, America first.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I was just gonna skip over that. Yeah, no. Don't get into it.
Greenland first.
Yeah, exactly. I like get Greenland first more. So yeah,
well, that'll be great. I hope the suspicions are true. I hope it's a spaceship and it stirs things up and brings us some unity. We sure need it on this planet.
I think either way they're gonna bring unity if there is a alien spaceship.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if they're good or bad.
Yes.
But again...
Well, yeah, okay.
The psyop that goes with it.
Okay.
So you don't know what is true, what is not.
No, of course we don't. But it's an interesting speculation.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. And my hope is that it's something uplifting, something that is going to unite this planet quickly. It's time we just moved ahead.
Yes. It's been the time for like maybe 100 years.
Yeah.
From the start of human history, it's been time for...
Yeah, you got a point there.
Yeah, if you think about it, it's like the first civilization, like they were... I mean, what was the first civilization? Sumerian?
Well,
Acceptable.
in modern times,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I think we got to remember that there have been civilizations here probably for millions of years that come and go and we don't even see any traces of. But you mean in ones that in our recent history that we can trace back? I would say Sumerians, possibly the first.
That's not even that we can trace back. Because we can trace back.
Yeah.
I was watching Joe Rogan inviting this young archaeologist that he mentioned the wheel, the 300 million years old wheel that we talked about in previous episode.
Of course, yeah.
So if they found something that 300 million years old, and I don't know how far they got to study it and like actually legitimize it as a object, man-made object, but it feels like they put a stop on it.
Okay.
But it's not the reason that we don't go back further than, I don't know, 5,000 or 12,000
something
based
like
on Göbekli Tepe, because it's not lack of evidence that we can trace. It's lack of will or control.
Yeah.
Whichever.
I agree. But that's been going on as long as I can remember, especially with the Christian version of life, that it happened, I think, at 6,000 or 8,000 years or something. But I mean, you know, we already know that that's way off the mark. As you said, this wheel, I didn't know it was that old, but there have been...
You come up with it. You told me about it.
Yeah, well, I forgot, and you remembered.
Yeah. You said 300 million years in South Africa.
That's right. Oh, this one. Yeah, that's right.
That one.
You're right.
Yeah.
But I'm accepting now and then some interesting little bit of thing that's millions of years old turns up. I remember seeing a picture of a wheel in a mine somewhere deep in Africa. I can't remember if it was 300,000 years or 3 million, but it was really, really old anyway. And deep down in a mine, some wheel-formed thing. So that's my opinion of the big picture of civilizations.
Right? Yeah.
But I know that's not the only one. There have been several things around the planet.
Yeah.
And similar ages or much older than any known history, you know. So absolutely, I mean, it's ridiculous. Why should we? You know, why should just no. I don't buy that. We you know that we've only been here a few thousand years. That's idiotic. You know, and I forgot why we were talking about that. Now I lost the track there.
No worries. No, just the fact that we can trace back to millions of years.
Yes, of course.
But there is no will. And it feels like we want to glorify the modern age that we are in.
Yes.
So we kind of disprove and like don't give credit to all the previous civilizations. And we're not even like have the, I mean, not as a normal human being, but as archaeologists or mainstream archaeologists or big archaeology, to actually explore the idea of like, no, maybe we've been here for millions, maybe billion
possibly
years.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, we know that this planet, roughly in this form, has been around for 4 billion years.
4.2.
Okay, whatever. But in this, roughly in this form, you know, so, and I also think we need to see it as a given fact that we know there are civilizations in other planets, other dimensions, and we are part of them now. I mean, you look, most of our DNA is unknown. Where does that come from? You know, we're not just, you know, like a lot of our DNA is not traceable. That's what I want to say.
I think they let us know in like phrases and, you know, terms that they use. Oh, that's the reptilian brain talking. That's this. That's
maybe.
the monkey brain talking.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So we are a mixture of all these DNAs and creatures, but we have an element to us that is rare between all the creatures and beings, alien beings or extraterrestrial beings or whatever you want to call them.
Destroy our planet, you mean?
Yeah. And the element, you can call that element soul. You can call that element empathy, feeling, intuitions. These are the things that we have, and it comes from that extra element that these entities supposedly don't have. That's why they're more logical. Like, it's like, it's just logical. My reasoning tell me like there is too many people, so half of them needs to go. What's the deal? What's the big deal with it? It's just logic.
It sounds like a machine to me.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds like AI.
But it's not necessarily needs to be like mechanical. It's just like mathematical. It's just like if you have an equation that says like, okay, we have this much resources and it's enough for this much people. That's a real simple calculation. And if you don't have that element of empathy and love and understanding and things like that push aside your reasoning, then you can take those decisions that they call it hard decisions to eliminate half of, like Thanos, for example. Thanos on you didn't see the Avengers Marvel movie.
No.
Thanos was like, just like, even though he supposedly had some type of love within him, but he was like, yeah, fuck it, no, we're gonna get rid of half of creatures across the universe.
Sounds like a psychopath to me, if you ask me.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, there you go.
In his own way.
Yeah.
So we have that extra element that they don't have, and there are whistleblowers that comes out and says,
I'm a bit lost to who these they are. I'm not sure I know about these theys. Do I?
We have the element to us that these creatures don't have, and by these creatures I mean ET, extraterrestrial beings, aliens, the one that lives among us and the one that lived here a long time, way before we come across. So they don't have souls supposedly, and there are whistleblowers that come out and like give a testimony that we've been in contact with them. I'm gonna show you one that talks about like we are for them we are just containers of souls, because that's the only thing that they're missing. They have the high technology, they have the intellect, they don't have souls.
There's a talk about souls. They were interested in our soul somehow. How do we have a soul? How does this container hold the soul? That was a strange conversation. I thought, man, that's just weird stuff people talk about on this base.
Well, that is critical. This is the most critical of all the subjects that you have mentioned. Can you describe where you were and who you were talking with or listening to about the containers and the souls?
I was sitting outside of my office, smoking a cigarette at the table with all the guys from the 732nd, the communication guys, that listen to people talk. There was a couple of officers there. There was a first lieutenant and a second lieutenant, and then I believe there was a lieutenant colonel. They were talking about how these beings from other planets were interested in our soul. How did our soul get in our body, and how could they extract our soul? How did it fit? Could they move the soul to another vessel? Stuff like that. It was like, it was crazy, but I just listened and it started to make some sense that these beings from other planets are interested in our soul. And how is it in the container? And they could repair our containers and do all kinds of stuff to us, but they couldn't get our soul. They wanted to know how to capture the soul.
And the person telling this knew this information because why?
because he worked in the Cunea Tunnel, and he was one of the officers that listened to otherworldly communications, and he had, I think it was 18 years of service in intelligence. So when you get to a certain level of intelligence, you've already been around the block and been a lot of places. So he knew firsthand that they were looking to find out how to get our souls out of our body, if they could capture our soul. It was very interesting to them.
And did this person who was talking, who was working in the Cunea Tunnel, say that that implied that the humanoids in charge of the Greys and the ones that had made these 4 experiments of standing up primates, of which we Homo sapiens sapien are the 4th, that those humanoids do not have souls?
Didn't say anything like that, but you know what? It made you wonder, how are they so interested in our soul? I don't know. He didn't say. He just said they were extremely interested in our souls, and that this was an Earth school. We were on an Earth school. Our souls were in school. Somehow this is where our souls came to learn. And they wanted to know how to get our souls, the knowledge of the souls or something that we've learned in this lifetime.
That we're containers. That's how supposedly the aliens look at us. That we are nothing but containers.
Containers of?
Containers.
Well, then they're not conscious. That's. I mean, it sounds like you're talking about something machine, Mister. I don't know if you can separate those two things. You can maybe have consciousness in a machine, as we're now experiencing with AI, but I would not say AI has a soul. Maybe that's what you're talking about. I'm not sure. But we can have psychopathic people with the soul, because if we are someone, we are a soul. It's not something that you acquire. It's you. It's me, or any living being. Cat's got a soul. Mouse has got a soul. And that's what leaves when the body dies. But I don't think it's possible to acquire someone else's soul. You can certainly influence them. That's for sure. And we see that. We see that, and it's not really what you're talking about, but in daily life, we all experience that. I mean, there are beings around us, disembodied beings, that have died in a state of confusion, anger, fear, and they don't have a body, but they don't realize they've passed on. And to me, the clearest example of that is drunks. I don't mean all drunks, but sure, a lot of them. And you might notice when someone's drinking, they get all merry and lovely, singing, best buddies, love you forever. And a bit more drinking, they get all violent and angry and start fighting. And it's like maybe you've got a dead alcoholic and they can't get the kick off alcohol anymore because they haven't got a body. So they see someone who has got a body getting drunk. There's good old Johnny. Let's go and join in on them. And their energy comes in and really influences us. A poor old Johnny doesn't know why he's getting angry and violent, which he normally isn't, because he's been influenced by probably many other beings, might not just be one. And we all experience that to some little degree. Even like if you say you're feeling normal or quite good, you walk into a room and you just feel horrible. You're probably picking up on, or possibly picking up on, another being's energy.
Okay, I'm going to give you a theory. By the way, that's one factor in what we're experiencing right now. That's one factor.
Yes, sure.
The lost souls.
Yeah,
let's call
lost
them
souls.
Lost souls.
Yeah, that's a good description.
All right. But that's not the only factor that makes us sometimes feel shitty, makes us confused, makes us doubt, makes us have all these low frequency behavior and feelings and thoughts.
Yeah, it's true.
So there is a theory that talks about 1,000 years ended. And it's
Okay.
a biblical prophecy that,
Which I don't know about, except that you just told me about it.
I don't know about it in details either, but
Yep.
I'm just going to repeat what I've
Sure.
heard. Supposedly, the kingdom, the second coming of Jesus Christ happened already.
Oh,
And that 1,000 years of like kingdom of God on this planet, on planet Earth, happened already. Because we have a very big gap in
When?
our... I'm going to tell you.
okay.
We have a big gap in our historical records that we call it Dark Ages.
Yes.
It's almost 1,000 years.
Okay. Yeah.
It's precisely 1,000 years or almost 1,000 years.
Gloomy ages, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And like almost nothing happened in those Dark Ages.
True.
So there is this theory that Jesus Christ came back in, I don't know what year AD, and reigned, like have the kingdom of God on planet for 1,000 years, and then set the Lucifer or Satan free.
Oh,
So we are experiencing the age of Lucifer running the show, Lucifer running the planet.
okay.
It's controlled, and like everything we see is orchestrated and controlled by Satan on the planet. Do you hear the rain?
Is it rain? Okay.
Is it coming here?
Yeah.
Do you feel the energy?
Okay.
That's why the world is the way it is, or the known history is filled with horrible events, killings, and injustice, and we don't have to even go back. We see the current events, and
All right.
we see like, why is it so fucked up? Why people are like, are they people? Are they reptilians? Are they influenced by some type of entities? Are they controlled by some type of entities? Are they signed a contract with devil? Like, you know what I mean? All these questions that if you ask, like, they say, well, you cuckoo motherfucker, get the fuck out of here. But you cannot make sense out of them any other way. Like, oh, no, this is just legit people, just like, they don't care that much about other people. They don't care about people in Africa or Palestine or, I don't know, in third countries or third world countries or whatever. They just don't care. They're like America first, and they don't even care about the middle class Americans. It's like America first. It's like America top,
Rich Americans
top
first. Yeah.
top 1%. America first. Everybody else is like, ah. So that's what I mean. It makes sense to me that might be the case.
Okay.
It's just food for thought.
Yes. I don't believe any of it, but it's food for thought. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a matter of belief, because belief means nothing nowadays. Belief means nothing ever, because belief comes from not knowing.
Yes. Well, I don't know.
Exactly. So is
I don't believe it either.
yeah. I don't believe it either, but I don't know.
It's interesting.
Because when I
that
say
you
I
bring
don't
it up.
know, then I don't kill the idea.
No.
'Cause it might be that. I don't know what it is. So I'm not gonna believe in, like, we are in the current state of world is legit. Everybody acts properly.
Yeah.
And yeah, of course we have to go vote. Of course we have to submit our power to these guys. Of course these guys are legit and they do things by the book. But for me, it's harder to believe that compared to believing like, okay, yeah, maybe we are in the, how do you say, the afterwards of 1,000 years of like the goodness on this planet. And then now we are in the, the period that is like chaos, and it's gonna end with the, I don't know, Armageddon. And they try to fucking make that Armageddon happening
I know that. I know. Yes.
actively.
Yes.
People in power.
I know.
So
Yeah,
they fucking they have it like said and like almost done, and we are sitting here and thinking like, oh yeah, it's just a green garden and colorful flowers. We are in like we are almost like kids. The word responsibility means like being able to respond.
Yes.
Responsibility.
Yeah.
And we are not count as responsible, being able to respond. That's why when it comes to matter of laws and like if you have a problem with like if you sue someone or get sued by someone or if you have to go defend yourself, you need a lawyer because you're not able to respond and defend and understand the law.
You got you.
So
That's a good description.
that's how they look at us. We're not responsible. We're not able to respond and understand. That's why they lie about, or they don't even have to lie. They don't tell us the truth about our state of world. The governments, people in power, media, all the organized religions,
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
they know the truth
Okay.
in this theory. They all know the truth. They know what's up. They know where we at. They know what time it is. You know what time it is? That's a saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
they know all that, but they have to fool us. They have to like kind of entertain us and keep us busy, so we don't get to the fact. And they made it so like foggy and unclear, and they have disinformation and misinformation, conspiracy theories, this, that. It's just like a mess for anybody to figure it out, any one person to figure it out. But there are like from different angles, they're cracking and they're like getting to the bottom of stuff.
Okay.
From scientific developments to modern physics that they put a stop on it in 1970s because they don't want us to figure it out, you know, because then there's a saying that says the emperor doesn't wear clothes.
Oh, yeah, Emperor's New Clothes. Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't want us to pull down that curtain.
Yeah. Okay.
And they
I'm sure there's
by
some,
any
some
means
truth in what you
necessary.
say. Yeah.
They kill people, they kill scientists, they kill people, whistleblowers, and they pretend that they want to have a disclosure or whatever, but it's just pretend. It's just to like keep you excited and make you like shut up and like give you another like a twist in the whole field of knowledge. And it's like, okay, how about this? Like think about they're interdimensional. And it's like, yeah. And like exactly what interdimensional means.
Yes.
But they say it and it's just add another curve to the story.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to figure out what is interdimensional. What if what are these all the objects that we see then?
But to me, what you're describing is Matrix, and I absolutely agree with you. And that on that level, it's how our commercial. Let's call it the commercial Matrix. And to me, that's something that's existed 200 or 300 years, probably more, but it's been more focused then. And I agree with you. It's most of the things you're saying are a form of control. I don't know if Satan or Jesus are going to do with it, but it's absolutely for real. But I think that a lot of us have seen way beyond that now, way beyond.
Did you say 200 or 300 years?
Yes.
I think it's more than that.
Well, I'm talking.
Greeks have the gladiators, or like Roman Empire had the gladiators and fights and this and that to entertain. It's like now we have like soccer or football. It's the same concept. they follow the same pattern.
Okay.
To distract you, to keep you on your knees, to give you enough food to be able to do the labor. You know what I mean?
Yes.
To make you believe that, no, you have to submit 8 hours of your day.
Yeah.
Like, what is the reason that all the CEOs after lockdowns, COVID lockdowns, ask their employees to, no, you have to come to office. Even if you have nothing to do, you have to come to office at least 3 days. Why is that? It's not about being more, how do you say, they're more active, or they have more, there is no such a result, like better result
I understand.
to be in the office or being at home. Actually, the productivity of being at home is a lot better than to be at the office. Like the statistic shows you're more productive if you work from home. But why do they push so fucking hard that, no, you have to come to office?
Yeah.
Because beside that 8 hours that you have to spend in office, you have to spend at least 2 to 3 hours before and after work to get home.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Or to go to office to prepare. And your life is like, okay, 8 hours and 2 to 3 hours. It's like 11 hours, 8 hours of sleep. How many hours do you have left to think about anything?
But
let alone these big questions and how the society works and who orchestrate everything. Yeah. You don't have shit. You don't have any time.
But that's why the hippies came. Hippies were here to bring in the Aquarian age. Harmony, love, and understanding.
So are we hippies?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look what happened to them. They got wiped out with drugs. But that's why they came here, to bring in the new age, the Aquarian age, which is the complete opposite to what you're saying. I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but it's not like it's completely dark now. I mean, that happy element is still here. And people all over the planet not following that. And hopefully this is a tipping point when this destruction that we're seeing around the world now, and I don't want to call it Armageddon because that's some Christian concept that I'm not really buying, but that this will hopefully, the destruction will hopefully give space for the new to come.
What if Armageddon is not a one-off event? What if it happens every time the cycle resets?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
You said it's yin and yang.
Yes, yeah.
So,
I agree with you. Yeah, look at poor old Atlantis. Man, they had a very instant Armageddon. The whole place sunk. You know, it wasn't too healthy for them. You know, maybe it didn't sink in 5 minutes, but they didn't have that much time to get out and move on. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It's a natural pattern, but
I don't believe it's a natural pattern. I think it's like orchestrated and artifacted by.
Well, maybe, but they're still part of the natural system too.
The architect.
Yeah.
Do you remember that scene, the architect in Matrix? It's like, this is the 6th time that we destroyed Zion. So this is the 6th version of Matrix.
Okay.
I feel like these resets happen a lot of times. It was Armageddon, and I don't know how many times
but
the good wins. But it's like good and bad. It's not always that the good side won. But I think this time, all the prediction shows that the good side will win. The goodness will win. And they're fucking afraid of that.
Of course.
Because
wouldn't you
Satan, for the lack of better term, we call it Satan. We can call it whatever. The intellect. Pure intellect, or the machine, or the
now
one.
You're talking. Yes. Now I'm with you.
That one, the Satan, thinks that it's going to win. It's going to win. If Armageddon happens, it's going to win. It's going to defeat the army of goodness. An army of goodness is just this people that
of
put
goodness,
their
it's not even
heart
fighting.
put their heart in their sleeves, and they don't care. They don't care about your gender. They don't care about your
Yeah.
race. They don't care about your intellect, language, or whatever. They just love you because you're a fellow human being.
Yes. So there's not even a war on their side.
Yeah, but the other side
Yeah, I
that
hear you.
thinks
Yeah.
that, oh no, you're not the
Yeah, of
chosen
course.
one. You're not good at the language that we speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The side that creates divisions and divide
Yes.
people. That's, I think, they're going to win.
What you just said is a really important key in this whole thing. Anything that creates division is something we need to move away from. Anything that unifies, that's what we need to focus on.
People who are awakened get what you're saying.
Yes.
But people who are still being played and manipulated by the system,
That's what I'm calling the matrix.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
that is matrix.
Yes. Yes. For sure.
And if you just know the scenario, we don't have to be afraid or scared or hopeless and helpless. If you understand,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and we need to understand it. We need to understand what is happening, and we need to have equivalent to biblical stories and see it. Like Satan, it doesn't need to be like a entity with horns and shit. It can be just pure intellect
Yeah.
that has no soul,
Yeah.
has no empathy,
True.
and
We've
wants to get rid of empathy, get
Yes.
rid of soul, get rid of being loving and understanding.
So my point is the key out of matrix, and that's what I was writing about in the learning thing, is heart. Follow your heart. And of course, I've got a whole lot of how-tos, but it's as simple as that, because we are not born in the matrix. You look at little children; they're happy and free and loving, and well, most of them. I'm not sure I was, but most of us are. We're born in our natural state. It's not natural to be in this world of working, being productive, competing, pushing everyone down, working hard, earning money for your boss and surviving, getting a house and collapsing at 65, having just paid everything off and then dying. That's, to me, the matrix. And it sucks big time. Even our education system, to me, is designed to create matrix. I heard my dear mother rabbiting on about this all my childhood. I don't know what the hell she's talking about, but I understand it now. Education should be teaching us how to live, not how to work. I mean, somewhere, I have nothing against working, but we're working to do what we want to do in life, first and foremost, not just to make someone else rich. Lecture over.
No,
Sort
it was
of.
beautiful. As you say, education is to teach us how to live,
Yes.
not how to work.
Yes.
And that's
My
was
grandfather
well
was a teacher, an educationist. Wrong word. Anyway, leave that one out. He was a teacher in New Zealand, but he communicated with Rudolf Steiner and Madame Montessori, both of whom created education systems in line with what I'm saying. And from Steiner's teachings came the Waldorf schools that we have here in Sweden, or all over the world, but they're called Waldorf here. And he was my mother's teacher and all her siblings, and just the way that they were, you could see that that's the education that they had. They were taught how to think to start with,
Critical
how
thinking.
to learn, yeah. And they were taught to appreciate writing, poetry, how to write, how to sing, how to create, how to communicate with others, how to live well. Unfortunately, it stopped with that generation in my family, at least. I mean, Waldorf and Montessori schools still continue to this day, but I know that my grandfather was very influenced by them and their communication. So it's not like it's a completely unknown factor on the planet. It's there, but it's certainly not mainstream. I remember when I was at school, I had to choose my subjects already before I started high school to help me in my chosen career, which was landscape designer. And that's fine. They were okay subjects, but I probably wouldn't have chosen them for any other reason, like physics, mathematics, Latin. Oh, Latin was okay. I enjoyed that. But the other ones I was utterly useless at, and I would have rather had something else to learn, to study. So, I did what I was expected of me, and I became a landscape designer, and I'm very happy for that. It actually helped me achieve part of why I'm here, which is, in my case, quite fortunate. But for most people, it's not necessarily the case. We're there to see how you're going to make the most money, how you're going to compete and be the best. And then I start getting angry. I'll leave it there.
Yeah, because the priorities is not human resource. The priority is like corporation profit.
Yes.
And that's why they just see how you can use you in a labor system.
Yes.
And get the best out of you for their benefits. Instead of valuing the human resource that is in you.
Yes.
Or what is your skills? What you're good at? Are you good at poetry? Are you good with your hands? You're good with your imagination? You're good with your calculation? And categorize you and let you develop your God-given, for the lack of better term, skills.
Yes. Yeah. Well said.
Instead of put you in this box, in this frame, no, it doesn't matter what your skill is, what you're good at, what you suck at. You have to go through the same process, learning process. And as you said, there are fucking subjects that you hating, but you have to go through it anyway to be able to go to the next level, to next degree or whatever. And all those unwanted information just clouded your mind, and at some point you just give up on it. It's like, fuck it, I don't want to be any of this.
Yeah, but that's been going on, especially since the 60s and the hippie era. But even before, I mean, not everyone's always been sucked into this matrix. And even here and now, that's my role on this planet now. With working with Shen Foundation, the role is to uplift humanity out of the matrix, as it were, in specific ways, teaching people to be happy with less, so we don't get, in the beginning, not even need to get sucked into the mortgage blah 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 thing. I don't mean living in a raggy brown dress all your life and in a tent, not at all. But that we don't try and chase this bigger, better, brighter, more thing all the time, and that we learn to work from the heart, and we learn to understand our natural rhythms. So we work in a rhythm that we're designed to work with, and that's my job. And I mean, Shen's not the only one. I mean, there are organizations all over the planet doing this. So, I mean, the change has already happened and is happening. We're not all stuck in the matrix, thank goodness. I mean, you're not. You don't have a mainstream job. We're sitting here making our podcasts, and, you've got a pretty
Our
good life.
podcast, man. What are you talking about?
Yes. Well, make podcasts, general. Yes, you're right. Thank you. But I mean, and I'm certainly not stuck in the matrix anymore. I have had my share of time in there, and it's not easy because we're between worlds in a way. It's really tough. I understand what you're saying. We are anomalies.
The majority of people are locked in to Matrix with no fault of their own.
No, of course not.
And that's the sad part, because they're desperate. There is no other way for them to make living or like
Yes.
Have pursue their dreams, or like even have the time to think about what would be their dream life or dream work. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Yes.
Like they create this system, matrix or whatever, that you have to follow almost as like a soldier. You have to follow orders. Oh yeah, I have to come to office, or I have to come to whatever job I have. 3 days, 4 days. Some say no, 5 days. You have to come to office 5 days. And for no fucking good reason. You know what I mean? Your job is with computer, and you have to work with computer. So you can work wherever. You can work in a coffee shop. You can work in your toilet in your home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the thing that, sometimes it takes away a layer of what is the truth behind all this bullshit. It's not the work. It's not productivity. It's none of that.
Okay.
It's the control. Is to make you almost hate your life to be able to live it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
That's the most fucked up thing to do. Like, I make you suffer over the time that you need to spend working to be able to survive.
Yes.
And I give you enough to think about that you don't even have time to think about, oh, what was the dream in this child that lives inside me still? Yeah. Very quietly.
Yeah.
But
flip on to what I wrote here about learning. This is exactly what we're talking about. This is a good flip over point.